What's up, everybody? I'm going to give you my first week experience of what things were like here at Werner Enterprises. I signed with Werner after getting out of American Driver Training Academy, driving school, and quick shout out to them. Awesome school. Really appreciate everything they did. Very organized in what they did, and just great people there. So I chose Werner after a couple different choices like TMC and the other ones I looked at pretty heavily were Covenant and Schneider. So all of those seem to have really good training programs up front for new drivers. When you get your CDL A license, you're not a truck driver. It just means you're licensed to drive a truck. But then you have to learn to be a truck driver. And that's what all of those companies are really good at. They're really good at taking folks fresh out of school and kind of giving them the experience they need. So I went with Werner and decided to come out to Springfield, Ohio. And the reason I chose Springfield, Ohio for the orientation was because the Allentown terminal where I live near was a little older, they said. It's in the process of being refurbished, but it hadn't been yet. And apparently it's a little busier, so there's a lot more students that come there, and I wanted that smaller kind of student to teacher ratio, so to speak. So that's why I came out here. So my first day when I got here, and by the way, I flew out. They do offer you to give you a rental car, but I didn't want to drive the 8 hours from my house to get here, so I just flew, and then took a shuttle here to the hotel. Day one, I actually got really, really sick, like violently ill. And it was about halfway through the day. So they give you your drug screen, of course, on day one of orientation. And I had already done it, thankfully, so they didn't think that I was trying to like get one over on them. Yeah, I must have picked up a stomach bug on the flight, and no COVID symptoms, but that was uncomfortable, really. I'm sure I was making other people uncomfortable being sick there. But everybody was pretty decent. I just came back to the hotel. They let me rest the next day. And I was all better by the next day. I could have come back, but they really wanted me to restart the training again, because once you stop in the middle, you have to restart. So yeah, I went back on Wednesday and restarted the training at that point. Had to do the drug test all over again. Day one is pretty much paperwork, videos they show you. They start you on these things called e-trainers, which is like videos with little quizzes, just to make sure you're paying attention. And they're fine. Some of them are cheesy, some of them are funny. But again, they're trying to get you the basic information that they want you to have for when you're out on the road, and when you're doing things like they teach you how to fill out their electronic logs. So you have to know exactly how to input your time, when to say you're driving, when you're not driving, your time, and so on. How to communicate back with the terminal for needs, for maintenance, and so on. So again, they're teaching you how to be a truck driver, not just drive that truck. Let's see. So day two, yeah, it was logs, more videos. And then finally, day three was kind of fun because you got to leave the classroom. And on day three, we got to go and do our maneuvers. Now, the one maneuver that we had to do that we did not do in school was on an alley dock. You have to do your blind side offset park, and then you have to do your blind side parallel parking. And I was fine. I did those a million times, it seemed like, at driving school. So I was ready, but I was nervous because I hadn't done the alley dock yet. But as it turns out, what's really cool is they show you how to do it here. And then it's not like driving school, or not like getting your CDLA, where you only have a limited amount of pull-ups and so on. They're like, look, this is the real world, so take as much time as you want, use as many pull-ups as you want. I only ended up using 2 pull-ups because all I did was, when I did the first maneuver in the alley dock, I just kind of kept easing it back until I got it to be a straight line back. And that was pretty easy. So that was nice. And then the road test was simple. Now, I learned on a manual transmission, but they have, and I guess the whole industry is kind of transitioning to automatics. at this point. So I got to do my road test in automatic, and oh man, it was so sweet. It was so much easier than worrying about when to upshift, when to downshift, and so on. For me, it just took my mind off of worrying about that stuff and let me really focus on the road as I should. So I was very grateful for that. I'm also grateful though that I did learn on a manual, because I don't have the restriction on my license, and if push comes to shove, I can drive a manual if I need to. So after that, day 4 for me was a little easier because I had done most of my e-trainers during my downtime. And that's the big encouragement I can give you is do your e-trainers whenever you have time, because the sooner you get those done, just the more it is off your plate, and then the sooner they can move you through. Because after you do your simulation on day 4, and it's kind of like a big video game machine, but when you do your simulation, then after that you get your badge and you're just waiting for your leader, which is your driver trainer. Now that's where I am now. I've got to wait, gosh, I don't know how long until one's available. Apparently right now the demand is a little bit more than the supply. I had one guy say he waited like 12 days. So Lord willing, it won't be that long for me, but I'm already here, kind of day 2. Saturday I finished up, got my badge, I was waiting. Sunday, everything's closed down, so nobody moves. And I actually have a dedicated account that I signed up with when I signed on to Werner. So, so my driver leader is going to be working during the week, and then he'll have off on weekends. He'll be home on weekends. So I just have to wait for somebody to become available. And didn't hear anything today. Today's Monday. That's not good news. That means that I may not hear anything till next Monday. Now, the good news is Werner will continue to pay for you while you're in the hotel, but you can't leave. You have to, I mean, you're allowed to leave to get something to eat. I've done that a lot, but you're not allowed to leave for an extended period because technically they're paying you to be on call. If someone's available immediately, then I have to be ready to go immediately. So that's pretty much it. I will say everyone over at Werner's been really decent so far. I don't know much about how it's going to be yet, so I'll fill you more in on that as I go. I just wanted to kind of give you guys my impression of the first week of orientation. But Springfield, Ohio terminal is very nice. I know Allentown, they're in the process of refurbishing that terminal as well, and they've already refurbed several other terminals that they have in the U.S. as well. So pretty much anywhere you go is going to be great. And you know, again, as I said, that's what these companies excel at giving new drivers the experience they need. Other things I can just kind of tips I can give you is when you come, make sure you bring some food or get ready to go buy some food. You do not want to live on fast food the whole time you're out here. Like I said, they normally give you breakfast at the hotel, and I guess for some reason the breakfast place here is refurbished. It could be because of COVID, I don't know. But they're not giving breakfast here, so we get like snack food when we go to the terminal. And then of course they provide lunch during orientation, but then dinner you're on your own. And like I said, you don't want to do fast food every night. And now that I'm waiting for a driver leader, they're not providing any food. I have to provide myself breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So so again, make sure you look for like a local store and kind of pick up some healthy food, so you're not always pigging out on fast food. Make sure you bring enough clothes for the week. You can do laundry at the terminal. It's only 75 cents to do laundry there, and you don't want to do laundry at the local laundromat because you don't know who's using that. And that's about it. Other than what to bring, they will give you a list of what to bring, and it's pretty comprehensive. You should be fine just following exactly what they say. And so that's it. If you guys like this and want to see more, just leave a comment if you want, and we'll see you next time around. Thanks.